Now, you may recall in the 2016 elections, there were two methods for transmission of results. That's the manual method and the e-transmission. Later, we were told by the chairperson then, Madame Charlotte, to say that the e-transmission system was compromised. Here's what this current administration at the Electoral Commission has decided to do, to revert, go back to the manual-only transmission method. And the chairperson explains.
Results will not be electronically transmitted. What we are doing is to set up the fax system and to have an email system. So the results would, of course, from the polling stations, once they collate it, they would physically take them to the collation centers. Once they are collated at the collation centers, they will physically take the results to the regional offices. When everything is done and the results have been signed by the parties, the forms will then be faxed to us, sent to us by email, and so on. And so it will be still manual. We will not transmit electronically. Assembly Press has worked with the Commission printing ballots since the year 1992. Indeed, I think the Assembly Press and Back Press they are the longest printing houses that have worked with the Commission printing both presidential and parliamentary ballots since 1992. The question that you raised was with the credibility of the managing director. We do not know the managing director. We know the systems that we have employed, because I do not believe that we are confident in the transparent systems that have been employed. And you may be aware that the party agents are briefed about the printing houses. They monitor the process for 24 hours. They have a 24-hour chain, and nobody leaves the center. So irrespective of who manages the center, I think the processes that have been deployed are transparent and credible.
EC Chairperson Jean Mensa briefing members of Parliament on Saturday. Earlier, you heard her talking about the transmission of results, and later she addressed some concerns about the company or the outfit that was printing or is printing the ballot papers. I've been joined by Dr. Ali Duseidu, a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana's Department of Political Science. Thank you for joining us this morning, sir. So let me start on the bit of e-transmission and manual transmission, because at least what we've learned from COVID this year is that a lot of systems around the world and even a lot of companies are beginning to rely a lot on technology. But it appears that our electoral system is not ready for that. Yes, we did have issues in 2016 where our system was compromised, but 4 years on, shouldn't we be improving the system rather?
Okay, thank you so much, and good morning to your viewers. I agree with you that since 2016, we should have been able to put systems in place to be able to upgrade the deficiencies that we had in the 2016 elections moving to 2020. Indeed, the compilation of a new voters register and the procurement of a new voter machines, the biometric verification devices, were all meant to offset the challenges that we had faced in 2016 and to move forward with a very clean, credible electoral processes. Now, the issue of transmission, we know that when you are doing a manual transmission, the processes usually go slower than when you are doing an electronic transmission. Even in normal times, the manual transmission delays. And when we vote within 24, 48 hours, people don't hear anything from the Electoral Commission. It creates anxiety and it deepens suspicion. So the electoral transmission process was actually meant to make the processes quicker, but also to lessen the burden of suspicion that is created in the vacuum of no information or delayed information dispensation. I listened to, especially in the COVID time where almost every institution and every individual is moving away from the manual way of doing things to embracing a more technological-driven way of doing things. I don't know why they said they are moving away from the electronic transmission. Maybe people believe that electronic transmission is highly prone to interference and hacking. And once we know that, we should be able to build mechanisms that could build a very strong firewall around the machines that we use, so that we should be able to minimize that process. But we're not listening to Madame Jean Mensa deliver her speech in Parliament. She said they were going to use manual, and it's going to be fax. They are going to use the faxing system, but also email. I'm not sure whether email doesn't pass as an electronic transmission of results.
Okay,
because
I
people
think
can still.
I had the same question on my mind when I was listening to her, but I think what they're going to do now is that they're actually going to send scans of the forms, and so not key into a system. So it's almost like another version of the hard copy, if you may.
Okay, so if they are just maybe, so they are not typing, they are just going to the document that the sheets that they have signed, the pink sheet, maybe they'll scan it and then email it as an attachment. Maybe if that's the case, then maybe that's better. But if they're going to input it electronically and then send it to the EC at the national headquarters,
it comes down to the same thing.
That people can still compromise it.
All right.
But I believe. Sorry.
Please proceed.
Yeah. So I believe that the best way we should do moving forward is to embrace technology and then try as much as possible to strengthen the technological and electronic processes, so that we are able to minimize the level at which it can be hacked or the level at which people can disturb it, so that we make our electoral processes move very, very, very faster, especially in developing democracies where people have a lot of issues with trust and with election management body and state institutions. A serious delay in the electoral processes and the announcement of the Resource Act, it should be, can create serious anxiety. We saw what happened in 2016, and we don't want to repeat that in 2020. And in this year, the stakes are so higher compared to what we had in 2016. So people are already looking for a fault. People are already looking for an opportunity to present their case. So I don't think the EC should give people the opportunity to actually seize the moment and then go the direction that they wanted to go.
All right, Doc, I wish we had time so we could talk about the US example and the fact that they had to wait for so many days, but we may have to have that conversation later, because we have to cross over now